Hi there. Today I want to comment on two things that have happened in America this week. And I've tried not to talk about America because A, I'm an Australian, and B, there's lots of great people doing this in America. I'm Robin Whittaker, a biblical scholar and public theologian, and I want to comment on Stephen Miller's extraordinary claim to CNN anchor Jake Tapper in light of what happened in Venezuela, where he said, "We live in a world, in the real world, Jake, that is governed by strength, that is governed by force, that is governed by power. These are the iron laws of the world since the beginning of time." Now, Miller could not be more wrong. There have been lots of communities and societies that have organised themselves around different sets of values rather than power. We see this kind of might is right thinking, this claim that strength makes something moral or good or okay, in the actions of the second incident this week, which is the ICE agent who shot Renee Good, a legal observer who had positioned herself in her car between ICE agents and the people they were after. This use of force, this absolute abuse of power that terrorizes people, is not the least bit Christian. And I say that because even though Stephen Miller is a Jew, he has long advocated for Christianity to be front and center in American political life. And of course, the Trump regime present themselves in Christian language and symbolism all the time. But what they actually are is Christian nationalist. This is a complete perversion of Christian values that sees strength and authoritarian rule as somehow God-given. When we read the Bible, we see it's the opposite. Jesus embodied a self-giving, self-emptying power. Phillipians 2 is a famous passage that talks about Jesus having equality with God, and yet instead of exploiting that, chose to become a humble, regular human being who served others, even to the point of death. When two of Jesus' followers, James and John in Mark 10, come and ask him for seats of authority and power in the afterlife, Jesus' response is to talk about how the rulers of the Gentiles are tyrants and they lord their power over their people, and that is not the way of Christ. Rather, people who want to be like Jesus are to serve others, not rule over them. The gospel and the Bible as a whole is full of examples of power being expressed through vulnerability, through love, and through service. It could not be more different to what we're seeing in the Trump government right now.